Hello there guys, it's me Unstable Voltage and welcome to episode 18 of Endless Legend. Winter has just set in. I'm still trying to get a scientific victory. I own a good decent chunk of the map, but I do need to get this little area down here that's currently uncolonised. I do have a settler in production somewhere, so we'll be able to go down there and nab that without too much of an issue. The necrophages have been moving in. Looking over here, actually, it looks like the dark green guys have actually taken this little area here. Now, I can't remember, but I'm sure before, last time I checked, they only had this one region and... or maybe even this one, I can't remember, but I'm almost certain that the light green necrophage area was one continuous band around their borders. So maybe they've actually taken that. Maybe they're in a war with... In fact, we can check. If we go into diplomacy and actually look from this guy's point of view, yeah, they are actually at war with the necrophages, so maybe they did manage to take the that city from them. It's quite a possibility. I did see some military units moving that way at some point. What I'm trying to do at the moment, though, is just concentrate not on getting into fights and build up my science, because we were originally trying for a science victory. That is what the Volters excel at. That is what I would like to do. And we're now losing 49 dust per turn. If we reactivate the glass steel, we're now getting 36 per turn. Still not great, but it is winter, so it is to be expected. This place is no longer building anything. What would be the most useful thing for you? You're happy, so there's probably... Mind you, we could actually get the Arts Council. But there again, we only get the approval and the science if they are fervent, so it's not all that useful. Could have a what's that? A Hyperium extractor. Oh, might as well build one. We don't think we actually have one in the Empire. Then we'll probably get on to the Advanced Alchemy Lab. We'll leave that there for... Oh, did I just tell it to build that? Okay, that's fine. I don't mind. If it wants to rebuild that, it's fine. I clicked on the thing accidentally. Empire plan, we're not bothered about yet. We've already done that. Let's click off the city and go ahead on to the next turn. 25 Mithrite. We are actually getting close to being able to do that quest. In fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my army and I'm going to start moving them down there. It's going to take them 3 turns to get there anyway. So by the time they get there, we will near enough have enough Mithrite to complete that quest. We've already got enough Pixie Blood, because we get more Pixie Blood per turn, and we've been gathering that for quite some time now. The Necrophages has 1 capital out of the 2 required to achieve a victory by supremacy. They have to conquer 1 capital city to achieve a victory by supremacy. And I have to conquer 1 capital city to achieve a victory supremacy. Right, okay. So I'm guessing then, you guys just continue to wherever you were heading. If we look at diplomacy, yeah, you haven't been knocked out at all. So I assume that it's just between me and the necrophages, and the necrophages have to take my capital, which is Avrama, and I have to take theirs. I'm not sure which is their capital. I probably can't even see it at this point. So I'm going to complete this quest as quick as I can, and then I'm going to get back onto the front lines so that I can protect my capital from being attacked. This place is going to work on the Empire Mint. We're actually getting short of gold. Where did I build that settler? In fact, I would have built it here. So if we have a look... Yep, we do have a settler. New army. And you're going to work your way down here. I appreciate it's going to take you a while because it's winter. So let's go ahead and on to the next turn. Okay, town cries are done. We're now researching scientific specialisation. It would be a little bit annoying to actually lose... Well, to have to win the game by going for a supremacy victory. I mean, maybe I can defend against it based on the fact that they'd have to take my capital. And providing I can defend my capital, we should theoretically be able... Not necessarily to win that way, but to stop them from beating us in that manner. But at least in something like Civilization 5, all victory types are just as valid as one another. Admittedly, it does become a point where you have to, particularly on higher difficulty levels, you really do have to consider actually using a domination victory. Simply because as you get onto higher difficulty levels, it gets more and more difficult to actually win via other means. You guys need to settle a city, and I appreciate most of the places you can settle are going to be rubbish, but I just want to settle somewhere for the sake of settling it. So we're going to pick that area there. One more turn before we have enough mithrite, so we're going to end that turn here. Still can't see any of the Necrophage's armies at the moment. It doesn't mean they're not around, and they are very aggressive, so I do envisage them attacking quite soon. We're going to parlay with these guys again. We have completed. The Hernus village has supported us with reinforcements. It is time to search the ruins with an army led by a Volta hero. Rewards 25 dust water. Show the location, please. And the location is actually in the Necrophage's territory. So in order to do this, I am actually going to have to go in there in any case. But that being said, let us find our army. Our army, which is a unit short for some reason, is going to head over to the capital. It's because that Justiciar was supposed to be part of the army and is in the wrong place. And they've also given us some orc warriors as well. So you're going to come along and help us. So we are going to have to sort of go to war with the Necrophages because we need to... Is it in their territory? Yeah. We need to get into their borders. Now, they're not going to like that. They're not going to like that at all. Now, do we actually have to search it with a hero, or do we just have to get in there? It is yeah. Ruins army led by a Volta hero. So we do actually need to go in there with the hero. We can't just send in the scrappy little free army on its own. You have updated your... Oh, it's just telling us how we've done on the quest. I'm not sure how far the quest goes before you can actually get your... what would they call it? Like a wonder victory. But we will certainly see what we can do. You guys get up there and settle that city. That is fantastic. We've got these... We can actually assimilate these guys in. I think we should certainly go ahead and do that. Because those units seem to be very, very effective in terms of the AI using them. Not that I'm necessarily using them, but at least I've got the option to do that now. So let us end this turn. Making friends. So we've got an achievement now. I assume that's for assimilating a set number of races. Do we have enough influence points to keep this going? Yes, we do, but I'm not doing a lot of attack right now. I'd prefer... Yeah, no way am I going to have enough to get that. Building production cost reduction. Yeah. I think we're going to... +3 per population on city? Yeah, let's do that then. Not an awful lot we can do until we've actually moved these armies up towards the front line anyway. We need winter to pass before we can do anything else, really. So we should, at the very least, wait for winter to pass. It will cost us a certain amount of influence to be able to declare war on the Necrophages. So we can't just... Right, really? You appear to be trying to move a unit into my borders, which I do not approve of. So what I'm going to do is go into diplomacy. We're going to have words with you. And we are going to close... Look at that. It's 187 to close our borders. It would actually be cheaper for me to declare war on him. And attack him directly, to be honest. What has he got here? Doesn't have his hero, so that doesn't help him a lot. I prefer not to have to worry about him, to be honest. But I am moving up to Tolilian anyway, so... Well, I'm actually technically not true. I should be moving up here, but I'll just have a look and see what he does. See where he thinks he's going with that. We are still making a decent amount of influence per turn. Yeah, he's actually backed off and gone up towards his own borders again there, really. Not sure what that was. Something made a noise. Okay, you guys go over there where you were originally heading. I don't think we actually need these guys with us. So maybe we use these guys as our defensive units here. And you'd say you just move up and join up with those Justices. Mithrite extractor at Hayward has been completed. So we could get another Hyperium extractor, but what else would be useful? Let's get the advanced alchemy lab going, because science, science, science. Population changed in Ogena. That's our new city down here at the bottom. It's not doing very well because it's winter and most of its tiles are quite crappy. Don't think we need any more Titan bones in a hurry. Glass steel we're getting loads of. We could build up that village. That certainly wouldn't be a terrible thing to do. What have we got going on here? Emerald. Yeah, let's get those going. That's probably all we need to do on that city for now. It'll be nice when this winter is over and we can actually... where is it that we need to go? It's over there. Although it's going to be... We'd have to go in from this tile because we can't go in through dark... Well, we actually know we can go in through greens. And we also see necrophages here moving in to our friend's city. So there's going to be another... There's going to be another AI wiped out very shortly. I'm not going to be able to get close enough, quick enough to be able to help. Which is a real shame. I was just about to say we won't actually be able to go through the Greens territory, but we can because they are our friends. But I'm just looking at the terrain because we'd need to go this way along the bottom here. So, research queue. How much more do we need? Still a fair few. What should we get? Oh, plus 20% approval on city and plus, like, 2 everything. Yes. All of the above. We're going to need to come in this way so we can go up on this tile where it's low. Climb up that one into the city. Or into the ruins. I really would love to be able to get up there and help you. It's just so slow for me to try and move, and I'm not even convinced... War declaration needed. Oh, that's... Oh, no, the necrophages have now actually taken that city. The Greens have actually been wiped out at this point. Wow. That's pretty harsh. So if we actually now look at the diplomacy... Oh, it doesn't say they've been wiped out. Maybe it's because... Right, okay. What would it cost us to go to war with the necrophages? What's a war declaration? 131. We can afford that. Boom. We are at war with the necrophages. Which is still a complete waste of time because we can't actually get close enough to do anything. So, let's end that turn there. But we certainly need to slow them down. Right, you haven't been dismissed yet, which is... good. Well, you haven't been destroyed yet, sorry. I'm reading and doing stuff at the same time. So, you... Oh, I hate this ultra slow movement on in the winter. It's terrible. Okay, summer has arrived. Actually gives us a chance of being able to do something now. We are going to attack this city. They have no hero here and a really crappy army. Auto, ready to fight. Boom, we have a new city. Okay, that's one job done. Orcs, get yourself over here. You are going to be a defensive unit while we head over and grab these ruins, which we need to do. How long would it take you to get round there? You can actually do it in one turn there enough. That's not too bad at all. I think I'm going to leave you there, though, just in case we those necrophages come back, because this is now our closest city to their borders. You guys get in here. This is going to be in resistance for a few turns, so we've got to be careful. Just have a quick look around on the map. Just make sure they're not going to sneak in from anywhere else. I don't think they can get to us unless they decide to come and try and attack Hayward from Howard. Howard? Yeah, Howard. I don't think they can get in unless they're trying to attack Howard from the very far northeast here. And anything else, we've pretty much got them covered. I mean, Dells is quite weak, admittedly. But we can take cities back easy enough. So I think we can leave that as it is and try and get this army down to the actual... right, they've got some units here, actually. So maybe we'll go in and fight them here, if we can. Have we completed a construction yet? We've got empty construction queues in Avrama and Marianne. So Avrama, you are going to have the living lab. It's going to be really expensive to keep that running, but it's going to be absolutely awesome. Climatology Guild. Can only be built once in your empire. Might as well have it. Town Crier. Extra gold on the city. That'll just about make up for the living labs thing going on. I know it says it's going to take ages to produce, but again, it's because it's in winter. You are going to produce... you're not making a lot of gold. There again, you don't really have people working any gold tiles, which is partially the reason why. You're going to have the dust buildings, and then you're going to go into the living labs and into the town crier. And hopefully that will sort those issues out. Let's just check who needs to move. You're going to stay there on defensive for the time being. We're going to end the turn here. As soon as the turn lets me, I'm going to try and attempt to attack this army if I can. Although they're actually heading into my territory. So I'm going to chase them down. No hero. We should win quite easily. So let's go ahead and do that. We did take a little bit of damage to our units, but nothing terrible. And we've still got enough movement to get back towards them. If we can keep wiping their armies out that easily, it's certainly going to make life a lot easier for us. We might need to start bumping out some defensive units at some point though, but... You guys, again, stay there. I think you are doing an absolutely cracking job. Let's end the turn and see what they have. Right. Just looking around because I want to see if they're trying to move any armies towards me before I move mine. I'm not too sure how army movement works because it is simultaneous. I've got a feeling to a certain degree it's a little bit like a roguelite where I move my armies and they move their armies just to be ultra annoying. I can't reach them on this turn, which is a real pain. However, if they do manage to take the city, I'll be able to take it back nice and easily. You've done that, that's fine. Don't need to worry about you. Let's end the turn. They may go straight in for the attack here, but hopefully I can beat them to it. They're actually just sieging the city, which is fine. We should easily win that, so let's go in and do that again. Didn't lose any units, got a couple of promotions. They are down another army, and that's made it even easier for me to get to this place. In fact, I could just go ahead and nab their city here, which may be worth doing at some point. Almost everyone got a promotion there. That was fantastic. Let's end the turn. I think we'll try and grab this one first, if we can. Yep, they do have some units around here, so we do have to be careful. Let us grab that. And search. And so, like fish swimming upstream against a current, we fight our way back to discover our own roots. Their roots, perhaps, but I now take them as mine as well. And we now have quest number 6, Crisis of Faith. I have told Zolya my dark shame. My mechanical limbs shook as I confessed. For a long while, she stayed silent. She told me that this was a hard truth for her to hear, but better that she knew than didn't. She said she'd begun to draw away from me, but with this confession she could begin to have faith in me again. Will it happen again, she whispered. I told her I couldn't be certain it would not, but that I thought it unlikely. You harm a single one of my people, and I will have you broken into 1,000,000 pieces. After these words she had said nothing more on the subject, and I believe that she keeps my confession to herself. I mustn't let her down. I long to be back among the stars. Not that reaching them will be easy. Already word of the Argus' existence has filtered back to the Volta cities, and many are afraid of what the future will bring. In fact, rebels in one of the Volta strongholds claim the first of the bloodline is leading the Voltas to annihilation and have taken control of the city, crippling the supply of vital resources. Understanding the long dormant and corrupted systems of the Argosy is hard enough without such complications, and I grow despondent we will never leave Ogura, or Riga. Yeah, Riga, why not? Every month, the ferocity of the quakes grows stronger, a reminder that our days here are numbered. On a Volta hero, unlocked the level 3 skill of the Alchemical Genius. Well, that's what we've got to do. We are being attacked by a random roaming army. You poor, unfortunate bastard. You have been decimated in a single hit. And we could attempt to go over here and take this city, although, to be honest, we're not really close enough to be able to do that. Saying that, though, let's just have a look what production is finished. We have done that down here. What could you have? Let's try and get some dust going, because we're very, very short of gold. And then we're going to try and get some more science up and running. I know we're coming towards the end of the video, but just before we do, I'm going to end the turn. I'm quite interested to see if I can nab this city. It'd be awesome if we can. We'd have another one to add to the collection. So just having a quick look around just to see if they have any units marching my way. None that I can see right now. Can't see anything on the map. So let's go in and attack this city. Oh no, apparently we're clicking on a village, not the actual city. There we go, we are going to attack. What do they have here? A few units, mostly militia. They do have one army. They also have a leader here as well, which is interesting. But we're going to auto it out and just fight it up. And we didn't lose any units. We managed to kill their hero, killed all of their units, and we have taken another city. So they've got a city over here, and that is a capital city. In fact, is that their capital city? I've got a feeling it might be. And you know what I'm going to do? Because we've just leveled up. I was heading for a scientific victory. And I know I try and keep these videos to 20 minutes. And I'd love to see how that quest line ends. But I'm not convinced that I can necessarily get that far through the quest to do it. However, their city's right there, and if I don't take it now, you know what's going to happen. I'm going to start the next video, I'm going to get 5 minutes in and win or lose. So let's carry on, let's push on in and let us try and take that city. We're going to end the turn here. Most of our units are at full health. We're close to an expansion victory, but we knew that anyway. We've got a new thing to add to the research queue. It doesn't really matter at this point, I don't think. And a lot of these things are so expensive to have. Oh, minus 25% expansion disapproval on cities. Yeah, let's have that. So, let us take our army. Can we get close enough to attack on this turn? Yes, we can. Discovered a minor faction, which I don't give two hoots about. Do they have any units nearby? Why can't I attack this city? Because I'm not close enough. Okay, let's end the turn then. Not an awful lot happened. Right, they do have some units in there. That was expected. I'd love for you to allow me to attack this city. But you're just not going to, are you? Because I'm clicking on it. Right, attack. That's what I want to do. I want to attack your city. Okay, they've got no hero. They've got 2 units. We're going to spectate this one out because it may be the last fight of the game. And it shouldn't be too difficult, but it did say I only needed 1 more capital, and this is a capital. In go our centaurs, they're not even bothering to charge. These units are also at very low health, just to start with. Oh no, they're not. They've actually got their defender bonus from the fortifications of the city. I'm not even sure if this is their original capital. This might have, because this looks like it was the capital of the other Windwalker faction. But maybe I don't need every capital in order to get this particular victory type. We shall see. Okay, you guys just healed a nice amount of health. That was good. So, in comes shots from the Marines. This is going to do a fair amount of damage. Although, saying that, they did seem to tank that out quite nicely. Second shot did a bit more damage. Our hero's going to fire a shot now. That should finish them off. Yes, quite easily. 233 damage. They only had 191 health. Our Titan's got a bit of a height advantage on them there, but I'm not necessarily convinced that he can hit them. They've got one unit left here now. There's done quite a bit of AoE damage there, but I think that the rest of my units should be able to finish them off quite nicely. They can't actually attack back, simply because they've already used their movement in retaliation. So they're just going to have to deal with it and take whatever damage they're given now. They're down to 105 hit points. They're actually dead. So it's going to finish this cycle. I take a little bit of poison damage. And we have taken what appears to have been another capital city. And we have. Dismiss. Our hero's leveled up. Now, what was it that we needed to actually give her? Cold Operator, Thrifty, Inspirational Leader. Alchemical Genius. Oh, well, we don't have to do too much to get to level 3 on that, because it's an entry-level skill. So let's go ahead and do that. Actually surprised that we didn't get a win here. You've done that. You've done that. We can implement a new Empire plan. Now, they do have some units around that we do need to be careful of. And the last thing we want them is capturing our capital. And this may be difficult because these guys can defend against here. But our capital is actually left undefended at the moment, which I've only just noticed. But I've got a decent amount of money. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to queue up a marine. And I'm going to put that marine at the top. And I'm also... What are you going to cost me? Wow, that's a lot of gold. But marines are good, so I'm going to insta-buy one. I could just try and run backwards and kill all these units along the way. Not sure how well that's going to work. I'm just worried that some of these units might get to my capital. But certainly that didn't win the game for us, and I expected it did because it said I only needed one more capital, which I've got, and it didn't cause a win. So I'm a little bit misinformed there. However, that is going to be the end of this video, and we'll see what happens on the next one. The dark green still haven't been wiped out yet, the other Volters, so it's not too bad. But was there another... Oh no, there wasn't another Windwalkers. I thought there was. There was two Draken, but not a Windwalker. I actually thought that village down there was another Windwalker village. What I am tempted to do though is just end the turn and see what happens after turn end. It may resolve at the turn end, and in fact it has. We have actually won. Brilliant. So out of here. Mwahaha. And what's mine is mine. Oh, asleep at the wheel, cruise control. Look at all the achievements come in. So we have achieved a supremacy victory. Let's have a quick look at the score screen here. So, what are we? We are the blue compared to... Now, you actually see, as far as score goes, scores got fairly even up until sort of turn 100, and then at turn 100, things just went absolutely wild. We also got into turn 201, so it didn't end at turn 200 unless I had that victory type turned off. But, yeah, the Necrophages were doing very, very well. Military-wise, it was always really me and the Necrophages. I don't know why I was worried so much about the orange Windwalkers, because even though they were giving me some serious jip, their armies were never really all that high. I suppose there was a little point where they had a few more than I did. That's probably where we had a big battle there. I seem to have lost a lot and they gained a lot. Expansion, yeah, the Necrophages went absolutely wild after turn 100. They just started really, really expanding quite quickly. As you can see though, as they start to expand, the other civilizations start to fall. It corresponds. So the Necrophages got a big boost as the red guys dropped. Then they got another boost there as the light blue guys dropped. And then they got another boost as the orange guys dropped, although some of that was me as well. But yeah, there's definitely a correlation there. Population was quite close. The Necrophages were just ahead of me. Research, though, we were actually ahead on the science tree. So that does prove, even though I wasn't necessarily putting that much effort into science directly, for the majority of the game, we were top. In fact, the only person that ever came close were the other vaulters. So that probably means that they're sort of... because a lot of their buildings, because of their unique abilities and unique buildings are science-based, it does give you that edge. There was a point where the other vaulters did drop, but that's probably because they were down to 1 or 2 cities and constantly at war. And the Necrophages did start to catch up, but obviously when you control half the map and you have that many cities, that's not surprising. Food was absolutely all over the place. Industry, the Necrophages had a lot more output than anybody else. It's amazing. Look at their dust output as well. At one point they were making over 1,000 dust per turn. Absolutely incredible. Again, our science was pretty good. Influence. Those Necrophages do seem like they need balancing a little bit. Empire approval. Ours wasn't the greatest. It was quite high for most of the game, but it certainly did start to drop once we went to war and started taking other cities. And diplomacy, yeah, we were second in diplomacy by the end of the game, which wasn't too bad. But either way, we've won. So just before I finish, just quickly sum up my thoughts on the game. Yes, that was played on the easiest difficulty. Main reason for that, well, there's 2 reasons. One, I'd never played it before other than up to like turn 30 or 40 in beta. And I didn't know how much had changed. I didn't know all the mechanics. And I wanted to be able to play through pretty much from start to finish to try and work out what all the mechanics of the game were, which I've now done. So assuming I go back and play this game again, it will be on a much harder difficulty. Another reason I played it on a lower difficulty is because my only experience with other games from Amplitude Studios is Endless Space. And this game is based, in a way, on Endless Space. A lot of them, even though it looks like Civilization 5, and a lot of other sort of hexagonal-based 4X games, a lot of the mechanics are pretty much copied straight over from Endless Space, except it's done on a hex-based world instead of it out in space. And I was expecting the sort of AI difficulty that you got in Endless Space, and the AI was absolutely hardcore when Endless Space first came out, and it got patched out several times. I expect at some point there probably will be a few balancing patches for Endless Legend. I don't think that the AI is necessarily up to the task. I think that it just tries to win by going around and just taking over everybody's cities. This is one of the things I like about Civilization. It's always easy to tell at any point in the game exactly which civilizations are doing what and how close they are to a victory and how you can stop them. In Endless Space and Endless Legend, it feels a little bit like other civilizations can just run away and all of a sudden, you know, they'll suddenly get a diplomatic victory or suddenly get a science victory and you don't even know it's impending. Sometimes it just happens almost by accident. I mean, I certainly wasn't planning for a supremacy victory. I was planning for a science victory and apparently I nearly got one because research I was top. But somebody else could have quite easily won with another victory type before I got there, which is why I decided to make that move. But I honestly think if you play games like Civilization 5, it does feel a little bit hollow because it doesn't have nearly the depth of mechanics. When you look at Civilization 5 as it is now, when you've got the religion and the trade system, you've got all the different victory types that are all very clearly defined and very, very different from one another. And it makes much more sense when you're building certain buildings and upgrades. And I just think that even though this is on the right track, it isn't quite there yet. So if you really like games like Civilization and you like that level of complexity, I think you might find Endless Legend a little bit underwhelming. Also, if you like the combat side of things, because obviously the combat in Civilization is quite lackluster, really. If you do like that sort of combat side of things, then it might be for you. There's always the possibility of alternatives like Age of Wonders 3, which is something else I've also covered on the channel if you want to go and look for the playlist for that. Age of Wonders 3 concentrates much more on the battles because you individually control all of the units on the battlefield. So the fighting is even better than it is in this, because obviously in this it's still mainly automated to a degree. The problem with Age of Wonders is you don't have the city management aspect. Well, you do, but it's very, very basic. So I'd say Endless Legend kind of sits between Civilization 5 and Age of Wonders 3. It's got better combat than Civilization, but it's not as good as Age of Wonders 3. And it's got better city management than Age of Wonders 3, but it's not as good as Civilization. So it does kind of sit somewhere in the middle. Another alternative you might want to look out for, though it is still in pre-release at the moment, is Worlds of Magic, which is very similar to Age of Wonders 3, and that's actually based on Might and Magic. I do have a pre-release copy of that, and I am going to be doing a video on that very soon. So if you're interested in a sort of a turn-based strategy with a degree of city management, but with good sort of turn-based tactical combat, then it might be worth checking that out. But that has been Endless Legend as the Volters with a Supremacy victory. So thanks a lot for watching, guys. I hope you have enjoyed this series, and I'll see you next time. Until then, goodbye for now.